you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. As most of you are aware, there's a television show entitled The Celebrity Apprentice. It used to just be The Apprentice. Now, I'm sure most of you know of this show, mainly because of Donald Trump's involvement with it, and now that he's the President of the United States of America. In somewhat of an odd role reversal, Arnold Schwarzenegger went from celebrity to governor to now host of The Celebrity Apprentice, and Donald Trump went from celebrity businessman to host of The Apprentice to now being President of the United States of America. Well, I happened to check out The Celebrity Apprentice. It's only 3 episodes in, and it is filled each episode with not just Freemason symbolism and Illuminati symbolism, but all of the agendas that we see pushed currently in our society. What a surprise as they continue to shove these things down everyone's throat from every avenue of the media they possibly can. Now, for those of you that don't know, the show is about celebrities who are doing tasks trying to win money for their charities. Wink, wink, charities. As if these people can't afford to donate $25,000 themselves to a charity. This is all to make themselves look good, make celebrities continue to look like, oh, they care so much, and they pretend as if they're not being paid to be on the show. And of course, in reality, they are, because they're taking time out of their quote-unquote celebrity jobs, whether they're musicians, actors, etc., to be on this show, which means they're being paid to be on the show. More so than they care about their charities, like they want you to believe they're getting no dollars and no cents to be there, when in fact they definitely are, because they're doing weeks and weeks of filming on this. So these two teams of men and women celebrities battle it out, doing these tasks which are assigned by Arnold Schwarzenegger and other corporations, such as Trident was involved, and Welsh grapefruit juice and all this nonsense. So what they do is when they go out and they do these tasks, they have to go to locations and, plan for the task, come up with creative ideas. I thought it was pretty ridiculous right off the bat when one of the teams was sent to go work on their task. Guess where they go to work on their task? Take a look right here. The Masonic Temple. Wow. Which one of these guys happens to be a member of this specific Masonic Temple, which was rented out for them to be on Celebrity Apprentice? Do you think this is a coincidence? I mean, this is right in your face. Now, when you watch these shows, as you learn more about the symbols and you learn more about the Illuminati, the occult, Satanism, all of these things, the Vatican, the Jesuits, everything, you'll continue, your eye will get sharper and sharper. This was literally shown in 1 second, potentially under 1 second. That's how fast they flashed it, but I was able to pick up on it. Because now with my eye trained the way that it is, I see these things in every single TV show all the time. And if I could do a video every day on everything I see, I would be overloaded because every show has this stuff in it. But I thought that this was specifically interesting because there's only a few episodes of this, and it's filled with these symbols, but I thought it was beyond ridiculous that they're inside of the Masonic Temple. They're even showing you they're inside of the Masonic Temple. They want you to know they're inside of the Masonic Temple, but they flash it so fast to rub it in your face. They know the majority of people aren't going to pick up on it, but I did. So here they are inside of the Freemason Masonic Temple as they work on their task. Give me a break. And I'm sure the majority, if not all of these people, they're either Eastern Star, the women's team, and these men are all part of these Freemason secret societies. So we see the Masonic Temple. We also see Boy George on the show here. Of course, some of you are familiar with Boy George, flamboyant homosexual artist. Not quite sure what songs he's famous for. Maybe 1 or 2 I think I've heard on an 80s CD one time or another. But somehow this guy's still getting pushed through the mainstream. It's 2017 now. 2017. So 30, 20, 30 years maybe this guy's still out there. But I thought it was pretty ridiculous. He's got a peace sign tattooed right on his face, right next to on his forehead for the most part, off to the side. And if you listen to this channel, you know that the peace symbol in the occult and Satanism, it's a symbol for them. It does not mean peace. When these people are indoctrinated in Satanism, they're handed a wheel and they're supposed to break it down to make the peace sign. It is supposed to be their way of rejecting Jesus Christ on the cross and what he died for. And it's a mockery to everybody out there who is Christian. That's why they flash this symbol in our faces and tell us it means one thing when it means another. That's how they work. We've all been indoctrinated with Masonic, Satanic, Illuminati symbols. We think it means one thing when in fact it's something that they use in witchcraft and Satanism and black magic and the occult. But then they get people to wear shirts with the peace sign, get it tattooed on themselves. They have no idea what they're doing. No idea whatsoever. So we see Boy George. Then, of course, we see the black and white tiles, which isn't a surprise at all, is it? So we see they deliberately pick See's Candy to promote. See's Candy's been a candy in California. I think it's nationwide, but can't really confirm that. I know it's in California. It's been out for a while. It goes back many, many decades. And you can see the factory, all of the stores and all of the factories have black and white floors. So you can see the black and white tiles. You can see the black and white trim on the wall, the black and white on the outside. It's not because they love black and white. Obviously, this is more Freemason symbolism. To go along with them being in the Masonic Temple, they had to do this task, which is even more ridiculous, is that guess who actually owns See's Candy, who purchased See's Candy, and they go and pay him a visit? Mr. Warren Buffett. You know, one of those people that they push and say, oh, you should aspire to be like Warren Buffett. He's one of the smartest men in the world because he can predict the stock market. He makes so much money off the stock market. There's nothing more rigged on the earth than the stock market. It is a complete waste of time, waste of money. You're better off putting your money, hiding your money and doing something with it than investing. But they want you to invest because they can crash the market at any time. They can manipulate you into investing, money into certain stocks, and the stock goes down. Even though a report will come out and say, wow, they quadrupled their earnings for this quarter, the stock will drop $10 for no reason whatsoever. Nothing makes sense as far as the stock market is concerned, but we're all supposed to bow down and worship this Freemason occultist Warren Buffett, who somehow is another one of these guys that just doesn't seem to want to go away. Still working every day and is, with all the money that he has. Wonder why that is. And what was really funny to me about it that I picked up on is they said, we're going to go visit Warren Buffett. Well, guess where Warren Buffett lives? He lives in Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska, right next to Boys Town. For those of you that aren't aware of Boys Town is part of the Franklin cover-up. It's a recruitment center. They prostitute a lot of these kids out of there. Okay, Buffett was even involved in the Franklin cover-up before Lawrence King became one of the head guys inside of Boys Town. He was one of the people that went in there because he was investigating how much income they were making, wink, wink, through his newspaper and other things. They wanted to expose it. They ended up taking Boys Town, which at the beginning could have been something that was there to actually help young youth out there, young kids out there, young boys. And then all of a sudden he went in there and showed that they were making more money than they claimed to be making, and a lot of things got shaken up. Next thing you know, Lawrence King is involved, and 10 years later, they're exposed as prostituting boys out to the White House and other places around the country. Story gets swept under the rug because they arrest Lawrence King on tax fraud and stuff like that, so nobody ever hears about it. So I found it was kind of funny that Warren Buffett, who is a trillionaire, who is supposed to be one of the richest men alive and smartest men, still working 9 to 5 in this dumpy office in Nebraska, which is right next to Boys Town, also happens to be the owner of See's Candy now, which is all about the black and white. So what probably happened here is the business was going under See's Candy. It was probably started by a Freemason, and Buffett, they couldn't let it go out. They couldn't let it go under. So he took control of it. So what else do we see? We see, of course, homosexuals pushed down our throat. What else is new? I don't know the one guy's name, and I don't care to know, but I think he was on the show Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. This guy couldn't be a bigger embarrassment to men out there. The guy is just a complete woman, acts like a woman. It's absolutely embarrassing. And like I said, Boy George. So we see the homosexual guys get pushed down our throat, but it gets even more disgusting as, of course, the one homosexual decides he wants to take his clothes off and pose nude, which nobody wants to see unless they really are having trouble, vomiting, and they need something to encourage them to puke. So they put this guy naked on a motorcycle, which is just absolutely revolting. Then, of course, they bring in what? A transgender. They bring him in to say, let's promote motorcycles, because transgenders promote motorcycles. So they push the gay agenda and the transgender, which you'll always see, and they say it's edgy, and the motorcycle campaign is supposed to be about accepting everyone, the one movement that we constantly hear about. So we get the gay agenda and the transgender wrapped in one. But wait, there's more. We also get the women's empowerment movement wrapped into it, where we have women, putting men on the back of motorcycles and things like that, trying to say that the man should be in the back and the woman should be in the front. All this ridiculous stuff that we see pushed through the mainstream. this women's empowerment movement, which we're seeing right now go on right in front of our faces. This is to break up families. This is to cause divide and conquer. And on top of that, something that I've exposed many times on this channel, this obsession now with men wearing makeup. You go on YouTube trending, all you'll see is men globbing makeup on their faces over and over. It's absolutely embarrassing. It's disgusting and it's disgraceful to men. But men are turning into women and women are turning into men, so we shouldn't be surprised. So they do an event with makeup, and of course, we have to see men get makeup put on them. That's not what the task asked for, but the gays stepped forward and said we should have men put makeup on because times are changing and things are evolving. So they put makeup on the men. Give me a break. We have pro athletes like Ricky Williams, former NFL player, and others putting lipstick on men, putting lipstick on themselves, showing makeup off, saying, you don't just have to be a woman to wear makeup. That was the mindset. This is all mind control. This is all that they're trying to do, is push these agendas through mind control. That's why you see the same things over and over on television. If you sit and you think about it and you write it down, get a notebook and see the things that go on and write it down every day, you'll see the same agendas pushed over and over. This is all about the accepting of what is to come. This is about accepting and breaking God's rules. This is about the do what thou wilt mindset, and they're pushing it. And of course, last but not least, after we see the trannies and all this stuff going on, they have to mock Christians somehow. Now, I know they use the Catholic priest, which doesn't technically represent any Christians out there, but still, for the masses out there that see this, they perceive this as all Christians being, Catholic, and all Christians, priests being pedophiles and all this stuff. So they have John Lovitz, who is obviously Jewish, dressed up as a priest, mocking Christians out there, because it wouldn't be a show for them if they didn't do something to take a shot at Christianity. Now, if this was any other religion, if there was somebody up there making fun of a Satanist would be there, and the news would pick up on it and say this isn't, equal religious rights for people out there. All this garbage that they push. So there you have it. I mean, this is the Celebrity Apprentice, just more filth that they put on television. 3 episodes or 2 episodes, I'm not sure how many it is, but you see all these symbols already. You see them inside of a Masonic temple. What more do you need to know? They're inside of a Masonic temple doing their tasks. Access to the Masonic temple. Wonder how they got access, because they're all part of it. That's how. The black and white tiles we see at See's Candy. We see Warren Buffett, the Satanist himself, the guy that they constantly push you to aspire to be. You always hear entrepreneurs, quote unquote. This is all part of brainwashing. Oh, you should aspire to be Warren Buffett. Why? Oh, because Warren Buffett's rich. Huh? Oh, okay, so we should all aspire to be Warren Buffett because he's rich. Warren Buffett's handed this money. He's a part of the control of the Federal Reserve and the control of the stock market. These guys all work together. This is all mind control. We see the transgender agenda, the gay agenda, men putting makeup on one another. We see the mocking of Christians with the priests, which they always have to throw in there. We see men even getting naked on the show, making people sick to their stomachs. We see Boy George with the peace sign tattooed on his face. I mean, it can go on and on and on. It's absolute nonsense. And of course, the women's empowerment movement, which we're seeing pushed very heavily right now in our society, is all part of the divide and conquer technique. So Celebrity Apprentice, folks, all you got to do is just tune into any of these shows. And the more you wake up to this stuff and look at the symbols, which I've exposed, many others have exposed, your eye will start picking up on this stuff, because you'll stop watching television in an alpha state and you'll be watching it, on a conscious level, being aware of what you're seeing, being aware of the brainwashing that they're trying to do. And you'll pick up on all these symbols because they're everywhere. And the people who are out there who are sound asleep will show up and they'll say, you're crazy. What kind of drugs are you on? Because they don't understand that they are sound asleep, walking, talking zombies. So don't let that kind of stuff get you. Stay strong in your faith. Realize the only truth in this world is Jesus Christ. Try to operate in this world on a conscious level and snap out of an alpha state of mind so you can see what's going on and be aware all the time. I thank you guys for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.